This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And right before our very eyes, we're seeing, these heathens, and these Edomites suffering because of what they've done to the children of Israel. And the curses, one of the curses that's coming to my mind is, us being sorrowful all the day long. Lord, will I get that? But this is coming upon them. All praise to Yahawashi for that. First and foremost, before I get started, I want to thank Yahawashi for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. And I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach and rule well, who taught me this truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting this good fight of faith. And salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom. And I'll prepare this lesson be edifying, as always, to the elect. So, as it says right here on the end time headlines, published today, half of Americans say the fun in their lives has disappeared, man. And that's been the case for a lot of jakes for the longest time, man. As the scriptures say, what's this? Is that Psalms? Let me see if I can find it. This has been Esau this whole time, but now he's starting to, catch hell, man. So this is Psalm 73, and I'll start at 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Who's the wicked? Malachi 1 and 4. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the self-proclaimed white man. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Right? So for the longest time, they've been able to just whistle and Dixie their pasty asses up and down the street, and nothing happens to them, man. The curses weren't falling upon them. They didn't have financial woes. They weren't missing car payments. They weren't in debt. They didn't know if there wasn't times when they were, hearing them arguing with the cashier about coupons, and going to the, not being able to take their car to the shop. I've been seeing these Edomites catching hell all over the place, man. Even in the nicer areas, the little cul-de-sacs and shit, man. You'll have one of the cars is driving down the street, brakes is squeaking and shit. One of their headlights is out, expired tags and shit, like, so they're catching hell, man. So those curses are starting to come upon them, man. Let's get this in Deuteronomy 28. Because as the article says, and we'll get some of it. Let's see if I can find it. Just bear with me. Akim. I shall send you out. This is happening to these devils right now, Deuteronomy 28 and 54, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, right? The scriptures speak about Egyptian versus Egyptian. These devils are, these Edomites are at each other's throats. They got the liberals, and they got the, conservatives, and, the ones that voted for Trump, and the ones that still believe in America, and the ones that don't. And, so they're going back and forth with each other. And towards the wife of his bosom, right? There's a whole bunch of videos where these Edomite women are going against their Edomite husbands, and vice versa. And towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. And you've been seeing that too. But there's a particular scripture that I want to get before we continue. Salakia. Well, this is a good one. There was another one I was thinking about, but yeah, let's get this one. 67. In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even, right? And at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart, wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes thou shalt see. Right, so they're in sorrow. That's the point I was making. The one of the many curses that are falling upon them. Let's get this one. 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. All these different Edomites I talk to, man, they working all the time, just like Jake has been working all the time. You no rest, right? Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. And that's the point. Sorrow of mind. Half of Americans say the fun in their lives has disappeared. According to a report from study finds, nearly half of U.S. adults are struggling to find joy in their routines, with financial pressures and overwhelming schedules emerging as primary culprits in what researchers describe as a growing national fund deficit. The national survey conducted by Talker Research on behalf of Dave & Buster's paints a concerning picture of American leisure time. Released on May 26, 2026, which was just yesterday. The findings show that 48% of correspondents feel their lives are seriously lacking in fun, while 12% cannot remember the last time they enjoyed a completely free day. Yeah, man, because this place is hell, man. It's been hell for Israel, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, but now these heathens are starting to feel it too, man. Because the elites, are doing evil even onto their own, man. As they move towards their N to the W to the O, man. They have to completely collapse this system that we live in so they can, put together their new one. That's why it's called a Great Reset, man. It says cost stands as the dominant barrier, cited by 57% of participants, followed by packed schedules, work demands, and burnout, right? And that's the other scripture, because what it just says. Let's get it. Let's get it here. Actually, isn't it here? Let me see. Yep. The book of Haggai 1 and 6. And it reads, Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes, man. Let me see what that says in Let me see. Let's go over. Let's do this. I got 1 and 6. Let's see what it says in the NIV. Yeah, it says. Oh, yeah, let me see. Let me see what the NLT says. Oh, this is a good one. Haggai 1 and 6. You have, in the NLT, you have planted much, but harvest little. You eat, but are not satisfied. You drink, but are still thirsty. You put on clothes, but cannot keep warm. Your wages disappear as though you were putting them in pockets filled with holes, man. And that's exactly what's happening. You know, is that these devils, which were used to living on Easy Street, you know, and having extra money to go out and have fun and not have to worry about bills so much while Jake was struggling. Now these devils are starting to feel the crunch and they're upset, man. So it says cost stands as a dominant barrier cited by 57% of participants, followed by packed schedules, work demands, and burnout. Because everybody got to work. You can't stop working. Everybody says the same thing all the time. The bills don't stop, so we can't either. What a fucking shitty ass motto, huh? This ain't fucking living. As the scriptures say, let's get that. Let's get that, because we know who's ruling and why things are the way they are. Proverbs 29 and 2. And it reads, When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Clearly, nobody's rejoicing. We just reading that article. So that just shows you that the righteous are in authority. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So we already know that the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. And who was the wicked? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. So he that is evil to himself, to whom shall he do good? They're doing this evil even unto their own people, man. To fellow Edomites. Among those who say having fun has become harder than a decade ago, representing 52% of the sample, 51% pointed to reduced affordability of activities, while others noted shrinking social circles and increased responsibilities. When fun does occur, the benefits prove substantial. 72% of those surveyed reported reduced stress levels, 57% felt more motivated, and 89% said shared experiences strengthened relationships. Yeah, because you're not supposed to be fucking stressed the fuck out, worried about some fucking bills that never end, you know? And then you're not making more money, but everything, the cost of everything keeps going up. You know, people are skipping meals, and, you know, the people that maybe had their kids in daycare, now they might not be able to have them in daycare. Then other, you know, family members might not be able to take care of them. So it's just a lot of shit, man. You know, and they could thank Esau, Edom for all of that, you know, because life isn't supposed to be like this, you know. It's just nonstop fucking bullshit from the second you wake up to the second you go to sleep, and then they're poisoning you, the poison in the water, poison in the food, you know, poison in the air, poison on the TV, lying all the day long. I mean, it's just hell, man. And now these devils are starting to see it, that it's been hell the whole fucking time. Many participants estimated they would need roughly 17 additional hours per week to restore balance to their lives. We've always believed that fun is one of the most powerful ways people connect, said Melissa Powers, Vice President of Marketing at Dave & Buster's. I mean, shit, just to go to Dave & Buster's, you know, I mean, shit, you gotta fucking drive there. Then you're probably gonna want to eat at some point, whether you eat there or you eat somewhere else. So now you're already, if you have, depending on if you got gas or not, put $40 in the tank, let's say, and then spend maybe $60 at Dave and Buster's, maybe one, depending on how, if you really want to have fun, depending on how many people you go with, you take the kids, easily could go up to $200 at Dave and Buster's, man, or for a day, and shit, you damn near to fill up your tank, depending on your car, that shit already getting close to over $100. The $100 that you would have used to go to Dave and Buster's, you got to put that shit in the tank and then spend another $100 at Dave and Buster's, man. Shit is fucking miserable in this fucking place, man. And these devils are beginning to feel it, man, because it was nothing to them when it was just Jake suffering. Jake, we've been dealing with this bullshit. Now, these Edomites have been welcome to the party, and these other heathens, man. And they don't know how to cope. And it's only going to get worse, man. Let's get that. Salakia. Jeremiah 51:8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go, everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies, man. So it's not gonna be, this place is not gonna be healed, man. It's over for Babylon, and we're just continuing to watch it circle the drain. All praise to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. This captivity is almost over. America is not bouncing back, man. It's on its last leg. It's on life support. Our State of the Fun report makes it clear that people are craving more shared in-person experiences and fun in their lives, but factors like cost, busy schedules, and a lack of fresh entertainment options often get in the way. Yeah, and even that. The music is trash. People have been on, like the NBA and everything, talking about, how, they're throwing games and doing, it's through, man. This place is through. They keep with the music. Everything is a remake of an older song. The movies, everything's a remake. The shows, even the shows are remakes, and they have something, and then they, like Fast and Furious, it's like, how far are you gonna go? Fast and Furious 30, like they just keep, because there's no creativity with these devils like that, man. And this is what happens when you have a bunch of Edomites and heathens running things. The scriptures speak about Jacob is the former of all things. If Israel was in rulership, this place would be just like when we were in Egypt, ancient Egypt. That was the only reason Egypt was popping. Ain't nobody worried about no damn Egypt. The only reason people go to Egypt is to see the pyramids and artifacts and stuff like that. So ever since the children of Israel left, Israel is the salt of the earth, as the scriptures say, man. Without Israel, this place is whack, man. And that is what it is. And since the loser of the earth, right, the wicked, are in authority, that's why the whole world is lame. Everything is just dead. People are just like, it's just the same shit over and over again, because that's just how Esau is. They're just so bland that it's just, there's no pizzazz about them. And since they're in rulership, that's exactly how the world is running. Even the animals are beaching themselves and dying off and all this. Let's get that. That's what we need. We look for new heavens and new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, man. And that will be under Yahawashi, man. King David and the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, man. One that is profitable. Let's start at 1. It reads, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler is of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Right? So since these devils are a bunch of pieces of shit, the elites and the politicians and the president and all these leaders of the kings of the earth, since they're a bunch of weirdos, freaks, and geeks, that's why you see everything the way the people are in the world. Bunch of damn weirdos with colored hair and fucking tattoos all over their fucking face, and they, the young niggas always got the damn Muppet babies, got the fucking hair to their fucking nose, looking through their hair, looking like fucking weirdos, and it's like, it's foolishness, man. Third verse, an unwise king destroyeth his people, right? These devils are destroying the people. When I never heard, and when I was younger, these types of articles and talking points coming out where people were like just dying to go outside and do something fun. I used to go to the movies all the time. Shit, just to get in the car and drive was fun. When I was, in high school and stuff like that. You get in the car, $15, $20, fill your tank up. Just riding. There wasn't as many potholes back there. It was just better. Everything was just better, man. The food didn't seem so tainted. Back then, the water didn't seem so tainted. There was better music, better movies. The people weren't a bunch of damn weirdos. And now it's just fast forward a couple decades, man. Everything's just off. Ecclesiasticus 10:3, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. That's the point. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And who is that one that is profitable? Yahawashi, man. Because these devils' rulership, this ain't it, man. This shit is not it. Let me just finish off, and I'll get a couple more precepts, and that'll be the lesson. Says the survey of 5,000 adults across all 50 states conducted between April 21st and May 1st, 2026 highlights how everyday obligations continue to eclipse simple pleasures for millions, while a minority, 28%, reported that finding fun has grown easier. The majority face persistent, ordinary obstacles that quietly erode opportunities for enjoyment. Yeah, no, there's only a small amount of people that are actually saying, and those be like, these Edomites and these heathens that are capitalizing off of, the struggles of others, you know what I mean? But, every dog has their day, as they say, Let me finish off on this, and that'll be the lesson. I'll read Isaiah 24. I'll start at 7 in the NLT, and it reads, the grapevines waste away, and there is no new wine. All the merrymakers sigh and mourn. The cheerful sound of tambourines is stilled. The happy cries of celebration are heard no more. The melodious chords, melodious, I guess you would say, melodic chords of the harp are silent. Gone are the joys of wine and song. Alcoholic drinks turn bitter in the mouth, man. So people, people are in Babylon are not happy. There's a lot of them are crashing out, and it's only gonna continue to get worse. Let's read this too, because this is what why we rejoice, because this is a punishment for them. Yeah, we got to go through Jacob's trouble, But we know that, as the scriptures say, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, right? So we know that, after the straight gate, is the kingdom of heaven, a place full of all goodly things, not this shithole they call America that we live in now. So this is Baruch 4:27. It reads, be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto the Most High, for ye shall be remembered, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you, right? So you Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, be of good cheer, because the Lord is plaguing our enemies, man. It says, for as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more, right? Seek the Lord while he may be found. For he that have brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, right? Who afflicted us? Esau, even the so-called white man. These heathens, right? Babylon the Great have afflicted us and rejoiced at thy fall, right? They rejoiced when we fell, right? They gave each other, sung songs and gave each other gifts, right? So now they're miserable. 32, miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons, right? Who's that? That's Babylon, man. In different cities around the world, after Deuteronomy 28 and 68, when we were put in slavery, slave ships and shipped all over the world and everything. So the Lord said, miserable are the cities which thy children have served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced, 33, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. Right? And that's pretty much the point, man. I get 34. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning, man. And that's what we're seeing right before our very eyes, man. Right? As the scriptures say, pride goeth before destruction, man. Look at this damn Edomite right here. Miserable. No time, too stressed, nothing feels fun. Call Halal Yamla, Abanawa, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach and rule well, who taught me his truth. Salutations, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning. Fighting is good fight of faith. Keep fighting, keep striving, keep pushing. Romans out of this bitch. And salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing his word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom, abab abal, and kwam yasharala. Hey, shalom. To the next one.